Very nice video, very nice. I can see happy face, happy people. I think this is very, very important. Ladies and gentlemen, we will record this presentation from EF Academy now, and at the end of the workshop, we will send all your details to Sahara, and she will do a follow-up with you. She will send you additional information, a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, a copy of the recorded presentation made today. So if you have any questions, please go on the chat system below and put your question there, so we are able to answer you. So Sarah, you are more than welcome to share your screen and start.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Let me share my screen.
I like this violet on the back side.
You like it?
Yes,
good. This is our color. This is our color with our logo. First of all, again, nice to see you all. We are, because I'm not alone, extremely excited to be here today and introduce you our fantastic school, EF Academy, which is an international high school. So just to give you a very quick introduction about me and about my colleagues, because as I said, I'm not alone today. So I'm Sahara Sedita. I'm the regional admission director for EF Academy based in Zurich. I'm originally from Italy, and I'm responsible for Americas, Russia, and Norway. But as I said, I'm not alone today, so let me, I will let my colleagues introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. Really nice to be part of this today. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Hannah Schiller. I also work for EF Academy as a regional admissions director. And the region that I am responsible for is Europe, Middle East, Africa, and India. I have been with EF for more than 8 years now and have seen a lot of students graduate with us. So I'm very happy to represent EF Academy here today. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Jo Man. I am originally from Hong Kong with the same position as Sahara and Hannah. I'm now based in Shanghai in charge of Asia and Pacific. I have been working in EF for almost 20 years with different programs, different market. I'm so happy to see all of you, and I am looking forward to work closely with you. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much to introduce yourself. It's always very nice to have the presentation of the complete team of one school. So I know you are based in China, in Shanghai. So Yo will give as well some summarize sometimes in Chinese for our Chinese friend here, and from Taiwan, from Hong Kong. So thank you.
For sure.
And thank you, Anna, as well, to be on board with us today. Sarah, it's all yours.
Thank you, Richard. So before we get into more details about our schools, programs, students' life, and support we offer, as you all notice, we have the EF in front of our academy. It's an EF Academy because we are part of EF Education First. As few of you know, or most of you know, or you might not know, EF has been in the marketplace for over 50 years. So it was created in 1965 by Bertolt Halt, a very smart young entrepreneur who had a dyslexia problem, and with only $10, he managed to create what nowadays is the leader in education, language, and travel worldwide. So we have a presence in over 114 countries. The presence is in terms of offices and schools, and we have over 52,000 staff between teachers, staff in schools, and staff in offices. One of the goal, or one of the focus of EF education is open the world through education, and this goes across to us as well. In EF Academy particular, is an international private boarding school, relatively new. We have been in the market for over 10 years. But in just over 10 years, we achieved so much, having campuses in US and UK, achieving a student body of an average of 75 different nationalities, and having faculty from over 40 countries. So for us, the international aspect is key when it comes to our school. In EF Academy, we really focus on our students, and we really want our students to graduate with us. Based on the international environment that we offer, with the fresh approach to education, we want to give to our students those soft skills, those new perspectives that goes beyond just learning from books, and can prepare them to be successful when it comes to university placement. And this is why we really emphasize, and we really want our students to come and graduate with us. So it's not just about studying, but it's building a strong personality, those soft skills, become independent, create a network, and also eventually learn new languages based on the internationality in our campuses. So let me share with you a few highlights of us as an institution. I already mentioned the 75 different nationalities represented our school. We do have 3 campuses between US and UK, and I will give you more details in the next couple of slides. We are extremely student-centric. So the average class size is of 13 students. And for us, it's important to give the support and attention to our students, but also to our families back home, because we are talking about the underage kids. So for this reason, for us, it's so important to highlight the fact that we have over 19 offices in 19 different parts of the world, just to give this local support and touch. And one important aspect that we implemented during the pandemic, and we're gonna keep on offering to our students and families, has been the Safe Learning Promise. This is because we really care about the safety of our students, and we want to make sure that even family feel safe and trust us even more. So with the Safe Learning Promise, we created a structure, an health and safety protocol, where students managed and succeeded in coming into our campuses this past academic year, having face-to-face classes. So we had around 95% of our students who managed to come to campus and have almost normal academic life. Just to give you an example, students, there were different specific dates for them to get into campus, so to fly from their home country to our New York or Oxford campus. And then once getting into campus, they will have a 10 days quarantine, fully supported and supervised by our staff. and they wouldn't miss any class, so they would still attending online classes and do certain activities. And after this 10 days period, and once the test would be negative, they would join the classmates. In this way, we managed to go through the whole academic year to keep open and safety, for them to have face-to-face classes, but also keep on into activities and sports. And because, and this also was important, and we managed to do it thanks to the support in the local offices. So this is key and was key. Yes, Richard.
Interrupting you a second. I think this is very unique. This was only a few.
Indeed.
A very few schools in the US who had this opportunity during the pandemic. So, ladies and gentlemen, EF Academy was open during the pandemic. They was able to help the student. They was able to teach the student life, and this was a very unique opportunity. I know EF Academy since over 30 years, as I'm in this industry since 33 years, and I have a great experience. And I personally know friends of me who study at EF. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very great opportunity. Maybe, Joe, if you can just summarize for 1 minute for our Chinese colleague a little bit the introduction from Sarah, it would be very great.
Of course， 大家好，我简单介绍吧。EF 呢已经有50几年的经验了，但是 EF Academy 呢还算是新的。我们第一个学校在英国，08年开始，现在我们有3个学校。那除了我们一直呢都为了学生，不单单是中学毕业，对不对？最重要就是把它成功变成一个做到最好的自己然后找到最好的大学。那我们在疫情的时候呢，我们还有一个 Safe Learning Promise， 就是学生呢无论是怎么状况我们都让他从线上或者是向上，他都有机会去学习。因为中国嘛，中国也不能出去，对吧？领馆也没有开，然后呢飞机也没有，所以呢我们有一些学生呢留在中国的，过去1年都是上网课，但是呢他们也得到我们集教办在中国的一个很多的资源，所以他们的成绩呢都是好的，所以这个 Safe Learning Promise 其实蛮受家长的重视跟欢迎的。好，谢谢。
谢谢 Thank you very much. In the meantime that you were speaking in Chinese, I know two of my Chinese agents, Mr. Gao and Defan, just enter inside. So the presentation is in English, but we just summarize a little bit in Chinese time to time to help everyone to understand the different program from EF Academy. Sarah, please continue with the...
Yes, I want, Richard, thank you so much. I also want to add an example of what happened this past fall. So this past fall, because of the pandemic in New York area, specifically in Westchester County, most of the high school have to close. And we were the only one actually that managed to keep open and operating. And this only because of our safe learning promise. So with this, what we want to say, what we want to tell to our students, families, and to you, it's that we managed to keep it open during the pandemic, and we're gonna keep and working on providing the same service and safety all the year to come. So there are families that are sometimes hesitant right now because of the uncertainties, all the lockdowns, or restrictions they're raising up and so on. And we very confidently say that they shouldn't worry about it, because this is what the support that we are giving, and these are the success stories of our students this past fall. So this is very important for us to, that everyone knows and see that this promise will be kept along the way.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Anna, if you want to come on board, you're more than welcome anytime.
Thanks. No, I just saw the question in the chat and I thought I would answer it. But was this before we started?
Yes, exactly. So
I see. It popped up during the presentation for me, so I was ready to answer in case if there is anything I'm helping there as well.
Please, Sarah.
Fantastic. No, but we have, like, we're going to answer your questions on the chapter, and then eventually we're going to also reiterate the answers of the presentation. It has to be as dynamic and informative as possible. That's the whole purpose. So I start with the introduction, but let's go into our campuses. We mentioned that we do have 3 different campuses. So we have our operating campus in New York. We gonna open, it's still work in progress, but it's almost ready. Our campus in Pasadena in California, and this is gonna be opened in 2022. And our 3rd campus, which is also operating, is our Oxford campus. So our New York campus welcomes students from grade 9 to 12. It's a decently big campus. We have over 650 students within the campus, coming from 90 different nationalities, which is extremely important for us and for our students to know, because this is what, when we say we go beyond the boarding or the academic part. It's a very spacious campus with lots of green spaces. You can see 97 acres. And the beauty of it is that it is 45 minutes from Manhattan, but where is it located, which is in Westchester County, it creates a sort of more, gives a more countryside sort of vibe, like more boarding vibe. So students really have the opportunity to experience sort of both beautiful side of New York City. There are very spacious classrooms and labs. And there is, of course, there is residence where we offer single but also shared rooms. There are on-campus facilities, sport facilities. And as you can see here, so this is our campus here. And this is Manhattan, Center Manhattan. So it's very, very close, but at the same time, it has its own sort of space. This is our inside of the campus, indoor. This is our sport facilities, like where they do basketball, volleyball, and other activities that they can run. This is the science club. You see, it's very spacious, and this is the outside of our campus. So it gives the real American boarding vibe, and our students really, really love it. The second campus is our Oxford campus. It's smaller. We only have grades 11 and 12. And we are talking about less than 200 students in our campus. This is also, I would say, a strength of our Oxford campus, because... Sorry?
No problem. You continuing. Please remain on.
Okay, I thought it was a question, but please feel free to ask any questions. No. So it's a smaller campus, and it's also strengths because it offers a very customized and attentive approach. So you can see that the ratio of staff students is 1 staff for every 7 students. It's also very international, with almost 60 different nationalities. And we have, the classrooms are seminar styles, classrooms and labs. There are residents with shared rooms. There is on campus, of course, we offer the dining, social, and green spaces for activities. Only the sports activities will happen through the partnership we have with the neighbored university. So there is an access to university sports ground. And Oxford is also an extremely friendly, student-friendly city, and we are just 10 minutes from the center. So as you can see here, we are very close to the center, but Oxford is so beautiful and small. So the outside looks very, very British, old style with lots of history, but then the inside is very modern. And this is an example of the residence, and there is lots of green spaces, as you can see here as well. So it's a fantastic location for our students, and also like everyone knows Oxford is the capital of academics, with the second oldest university in the world, Oxford University. There are fantastic libraries and museums. So they also do great activities outside the campus, of course, obviously extremely supervised. And it's only 1 hour away from London.
Sara, I have a question.
Yes.
Since how long is the campus in Oxford existing?
So it's approximately since 2010. So it has been around 10 years. Since we moved there, since we purchased and we own the school in Oxford.
How many students usually every year study in Oxford?
It's approximately 200.
200.
Yes. And because the reason why it's so small is because we only have grade 11 and 12. So it's a sort of, intense pre-preparation to get to university, the last 2 years of high school.
Thank you very much, Sara. I will come back with other questions that
absolutely
I get privately from the agents. So if the agent have some questions about the boarding school from EF Academy, please put the question on chat system, and Anna is reply to you. And of course, I will ask the question to Sahara so that she can reply to me as well. Thank you very much, Sara.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then there is the last of our 3 beautiful campuses, which is the Pasadena campus that will open in 2022. In Pasadena, we're going to welcome from grade 8 to grade 12. It's going to be huge. And we're going to have a capacity of almost 700 students. There will be STEAM labs, art and drama studios, along with the classroom, of course. There are 4 residences. There's going to be an on-campus swimming pool, soccer field, indoor, outdoor sports courts. And as you can see, Pasadena, our campus is going to be here, and it's going to be only 30 minutes from LA, and roughly an hour from the coast side. So there are fantastic beach locations like Santa Monica, Manhattan Beach, and so on. They are very beautiful and not that far away. So you see, this is the external frame of the building. This is how the campus, the sport facilities will look like. This is going to be the swimming pool, and this is going to be the classes and residences. So you see, it's extremely modern, very innovative, and we'll have lots of facilities. Pasadena, it's an interesting city because it's also like a sport city, and also an art city. So it offers lots of opportunities. And the West Coast, it's well considered for those who want to study entrepreneurship, want to move into the social, and offers lots of opportunity in that. And let's not forget about the fantastic weather. So there are 3 important locations, academically speaking, but also in terms of exposure to universities and activities, outdoor external activities, the 3 of them.
Sara,
Is there any questions about it?
Sara, I have one point I have to ask to Anna, sorry.
Yes.
She mentioned that you have students from China, Taiwan, Hong Kong on a previous response before.
Yeah.
I want to inform you, we have students here from India, Sri Lanka, Nigeria, Ghana, Albania, Ukraine, Mongolia, Thailand, Russia, Ukraine, Switzerland, Cambodia, Poland, South Korea, Ecuador. I hope I not forget anyone else. You have students from other countries as well, not only from Taiwan, Hong Kong, and China, just to clarify this point.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, when I say 75, an average of 75 different nationalities is because it's an average across all campuses. But we have students from all over the world. We have students from Honduras, Russia, Uzbekistan, Italy, Spain, Americans. We have students from India. We have students from China, Vietnam, Indonesia, Japan. We have students from all over the world. And this is the beauty. So there is not, you know, most of the time when schools talk about internationalities, there is always like a major nationalities that take over. In our schools, it's pretty much even. We have a representation from everywhere. And this is an important aspect that we try to keep, this sort of balanced mix, because this is when we go beyond boarding school, beyond the academics. Keeping this international environment, this balanced international environment, helps them to really grow and develop those soft skills, like communications, being more adaptable to different, you know, from people to people from different social, like, background, people from different culture, I want to say, and these are skills that are very highly demanded in universities. Everyone can get an A+, but imagine if you can get an A+, and on top of it, you know how you should approach a classmate, or how you know how to work in a team with the team member from a completely different culture. So it's this is a very important aspect that we really emphasize, and we wanna, you know, and we really and try to make clear that we are truly international.
Thank you. Another question that came in, sorry, but you know, a question came in, so
yes, please
go back to you. Are there any local students in the school? This is a very interesting question, came from an agent.
Yes, you mean like we do have American students coming to our school, and it's interesting because while international student wants to get the international experience, but also the local experience, the local students come to us because they want to have this international exposure. So we do have American students in our school. So it's very truly mixed.
Another question came in, and Anna replied very good. I mean, the general intake is in September, but now because of this pandemic around the world, I mean, is possible to start as well in January, or is this fixed on September?
Can I add to this? This is a really good question. I just wasn't able to type as fast. So of course, students are set up for success when they start with us in September, right? With everyone else at the beginning of the school year. However, given the certain situation within the world at the moment, if students are unable to travel because of a delay of visa or similar, we are able to offer online classes and online learning until they can actually get to campus. But because of our experience throughout the last school year, where we've been able to successfully run the campus with face-to-face classes, we want everyone to join us on campus. And it's been an amazing experience that we actually got everyone from all around the world, from India and from China, to our campus last year. So ideally, everyone starts classes in September, whether that has to be online or it can be offline already. This we would then determine on an individual basis. But yes, of course, occasionally, and depending on the grade, we could also accept someone starting in January.
Thank you, Anna.
Exactly.
Anna, because you are here on board, we have a general question who came in all the time, and is, please tell us the eligibility criteria to entry at EF Academy. And maybe if you can just summarize in few words this part.
Absolutely. I mean, I will go into more detail right after the academics, but I'm happy to just summarize it now already. We do not differentiate between our local students, which is just a minority as all of the other students, and between the international students. And for us, the student, like Sahara mentioned, is the center of the application, right? So yes, we do look at the grades, because we want to make sure that all students can succeed within the programs and the academics that we offer. But we also look at their motivation. We want them to be able to fit in with a culture as international as EF Academy is. And then, of course, in order to be successful at school, a certain English level is also required. we have an English preparation course that we can offer to some students that just need like that little bit of an extra push in order to get there. But in general, English level requirements need to be met. We're looking at the grades so that someone's not been failing school for 2 or 3 years, right? But then also there's this whole aspect of fitting into our culture and into that international and open-minded mindset that we have at school.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. Please, Sara, continue with the
Yes, actually, I'm going to pass over to Hannah, but before I pass over, I would like to also bring on one of the examples of this, you know, the Safe Learning Promise. So we did have, for instance, we do have an example of Russia. So Russia right now, the US embassy is closed. There is no way to getting visa unless you go to, you know, neighboring countries and so on. So what our students did, as Anna mentioned, they started with us online until they managed to get a visa appointment. They got the visa and they join us, of course, on a specific dates because of the safe protocol, but they managed to join. So with that, with the Safe Learning Promise, we try to be as flexible as possible in totally safety, also following the rules, and make sure that the students doesn't stay behind within the program. So that's actually really important. This is what happened, let's say, in this fall, that then enable all our, for instance, Russian students, which is just the example I'm bringing in, to join us and successfully end the academic year on campus. But said that, I will hand over to Hannah, who will drive you through, and he will give you more insight about the full academics.
Yes. Thank you, Sahara. We had one request to go back to the Pasadena overview in the chat. Could we briefly go back? And I've spent some time on each campus, so I'm happy to answer some more questions about this. Exactly, I think this was it. So I've visited our Pasadena campus, not last summer, but the year before. It's going to be stunning. It is, like Sahara mentioned, it was previously a university campus that we've renovated, but we kept that original kind of like feeling and atmosphere. So we're super excited to finally open the Pasadena campus and continue with the construction. It's going to be, well, breathtaking, to be honest. And California, of course, as the location is also with the proximity to all of those amazing universities, not to be underestimated. Super, thanks. I hope this helped. I will briefly go over the academics, which of course is the center of each high school and each school. But for us, it really plays a very important role because we want to make sure that each student is seeing that we can focus on their strength and help them on their path to their individual success. So we have several pathways that we discuss in detail throughout the first couple of conversations that we would have, or then in cooperation with you, that we will then have with the families. And it's important for us to, first of all, know exactly the school system that each student is coming from, to then place them correctly into the international school system. So from grade 8 on, students can join us for the US High School Diploma. And the US High School Diploma, as I'm sure a lot of you know, really allows us to focus on the strength of each student. They can choose from a big variety of courses, and we can make sure that they all also get to the same level. So the earlier a student can join us, the better, because by the time they're going into grade 11 or grade 12, they then already have that international exposure, have studied in English, and are also at the same level as everyone else to then succeed in the last 2 crucial years of school. After grade 10, we then look at where are the students at? What is their level? Where do they want to go for university? What kind of subjects would they like to study? So we individualize that pathway again, and we come up together with the family. So we do include the parents here, of course, as well. We come up with the best solution for each student in order to get them into their dream university, but also, of course, have fallback options. So the one option is going into continuing with the high school diploma, which is, of course, the option for those students wanting to join a US university. But then for those students that aim super high, we also have the IB diploma. And the IB diploma, I'm sure most of you know, is a very well-known and internationally recognized diploma that focuses on international education. And it really opens the door to universities worldwide and not just in the US. And then at our school in Oxford, we also have the typical British qualification, which is called A-levels. And with the A-levels, they focus on fewer subjects. But of course, for those students that already know where they want to go, this might be the perfect pathway to choose.
Anna.
Yes.
I would like, because I think this is a very important part, if maybe you can summarize for 1 minute in Chinese, especially from grade 10 to grade 11. This will help to understand very deeply inside to our Chinese colleague with us today. Please, you.
OK, thank you. 我们在不同的学校提供不同的课程。英国呢就只有 IB 跟 A Level， 所以我们呢其实高一的学生就可以其实是跳一个级了，对不对？就可以高一读完之后呢就可以读我们的 A Level 跟 IB。当然我们就是要看那个interview。成绩跟英文的能力，那其他的美国的校区，包括还没有开的 Pasadena 跟纽约呢，我们就有尤其是 Pasadena， 我们从8年级开始。那大家都知道了嘛，对不对？那个高中就是从那个9年级开始的。那如果有一些比较年轻的学生，他可以先读我们的8年级，在 Pasadena。或者是读一些语言培训，要达到语言的，那就可以读我们的9年级跟10年级了。那很多学生呢，到读到10年级的时候呢，他在选，对不对？选那个 IB 或者是选那个美国高中。那我们学校的同事呢，就会根据学生的能力去给他一个最好的一个 final 的 decision， 就是给他最后的建议给家长的。因为有一些孩子呢，可能他没有那么有偏科，对吧？那可能呢就是不能就是 take care IB 这个全这个 IBDP 这个 program， 那我们可能会建议他读一个高中，美国高中啊。所以我们的学校呢，其实经可攻推可守的啊，大概就是这样啊。往后我们再聊，谢谢。
谢谢。Yo, I have a question to you. 2 questions.
Yeah.
The first question is. I inform Chinese agent if they want to type in Chinese, they can type in Chinese on the chat system.
Of course.
You can reply to them in Chinese or in English, whatever you prefer. And if you can leave your WeChat contact on the chat system so that they will be able to contact you today, during the workshop or after by WeChat.
Good idea. I'm going to put it here now.
Thank you very much. You already had some question from Jeff Gao. Okay, you can continue, Anna.
Thanks. Great. Sahara, would you mind going to the next slide?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, I just briefly wanted to summarize what the preparation course is about. And I think this is quite unique as well, but as we are such an international school and our students, of course, a lot of them have English as their second language or almost on a native level. But then there's also students joining from all around the world that don't have the foundation of the academic English yet that they would require in order to show their true potential within the classroom. So we have a so-called preparation course that we offer on our campus in New York. And this preparation course can be started in April or in June, so before actually joining us for the full school year. And for these 1 or 2 terms that they are then studying English, we want to make sure that they've heard like the specific science terms already, that they spruce up their English, and in case that they want to strengthen a particular aspect of their English, like academic writing or presentation skills in a foreign language, this is what we focus on. Now, this, unfortunately, as you can probably tell, within 3 to 6 months, it's impossible to go from beginner to a level that you would need in order to succeed at a high school abroad. It's really meant for those that just that have the basics, but we can then help to really succeed throughout the school year with us. Joe, is there anything that you wanted to add to the preparation course aspect?
Well, I think the preparation course has a high demand in Asia, especially in Japan, China, Vietnam. So it's a great way for our students to actually prepare themselves before they start their real high school program. So a group of students are now at our campus learning the basic English, and then of course they can also choose their interest program. And next year, we want to even enhance this preparation program. So it's not just English preparation, it's all also related to academic subjects, so that a student can understand some vocabulary, right? It's not just a general vocabulary, it could be something related to algebra, geography, history, things like that, so that they are much better, well prepared, and much more confident when they start with our high school program.
Wonderful, thank you. And I just saw also one question in the chat, and I have to say, with our Indian students, we rarely encounter that their English level is not at the level that we would require. We have our own English test, which is called FSET. We'll explain a little bit more about this in a minute. IELTS is also accepted, but we also have a very uncomplicated test online that our students do. And then on the basis of this, we will have an admissions interview to further test the spoken English. And based on this, we can then come up with a recommendation for a pathway, or also with recommendations on how to improve their English potentially before joining us. But looking at the high school diploma, so as students can join us basically in grade 8, the high school diploma that they would graduate with after grade 12 is looking at a collection of credits throughout grades 9 to 12. So there are certain subjects that should be attended by all students, like English, for example, which makes a lot of sense, mathematics, some sciences, social studies. But in general, it's something that our pathway managers that are always accompanying our students are looking into with the students to come up with the best selection of subjects that really fit their strengths and needs, and of course, their future goals as well at university. It is the New York State High School Diploma that our students graduate with. And after this high school diploma, they can then apply for universities. They can and should sit the SATs, of course, throughout their time with us. And most of the students that actually choose the US high school diploma, they do intend on studying at a university in North America. If a student has a particular strength, we're able to combine the high school diploma with certain IB certificates. So it's a bit similar to the AP courses, so advanced placement courses, so that they can really show where their strengths lie and have increased chances to apply to university. So yeah, it's really, students can give it a bit of a try as well. They can try out different subjects that they're interested in. There's like one very exotic one, like songwriting, that they could add to their curriculum, but just to also find out what they would like to do in the future in case that they don't know yet. And then there's the rigorous IB diploma. I am a big fan of the IB diploma because I think the IB organization and the IB in general has very similar values to our student profile that we're looking for. And it comes down to the students really thinking about what they're learning, right? That they question what they're learning, that it's a very interactive classroom. It's really about them proceeding in their knowledge and becoming world citizens, while getting the ground and foundation within the knowledge that they have in order to succeed at university. And the IB diploma in general is very good at preparing students for university. This is the one thing that students have always told me once they entered university after graduating with the IB. They know how to write an essay. they know how to research correctly, they know how to cite. So all of this is, of course, incorporated into the classes. They study 6 courses from 6 different groups, so it's also a very broad curriculum. But then there's also the additional core requirements, which are called Theory of Knowledge, Extended Essay, and CAS. So it's not only about writing an essay, it's not only about knowing how do we know what we know, but it's also about them becoming well-rounded individuals. And when looking at universities, especially in the US, they are looking at not only the curriculum and the grades, they're also looking at what have the students done outside of the classroom. The extracurriculars and the character of the student is becoming more and more important. And the IB gives students the opportunity to show throughout the CAS, the creativity, activity, and service part, who they are and why they should be chosen for that university. So this is good for all internationally minded students, as it opens the world really to them. And then for the A-levels, the very typical British diploma, this is what we're offering in Oxford. And as Sahara mentioned before, our Oxford school is highly academic in a very positive way, because students get to feel like real Oxford students at university already. They have access to the great university atmosphere in that city, but also a lot of our teachers don't only teach at our school, but they also have a post at the universities or colleges throughout Oxford and at Oxford University. So they're super, super passionate, but they're also incredibly knowledgeable about what they're doing. So in Oxford, the students choose between IB or the A-levels, and the A-levels are relatively or more narrow than the IB diploma. So a student who already knows that they would like to go into medicine, for example, they only focus on 3 to a maximum of 4 subjects and would then take biology, chemistry, and potentially even physics or English. But it very much depends on what they would like to study. And then the A-levels really go into the depth of those studies. It requires students to be relatively independent, because it's a lot of studying and they must love those subjects. They're spending a lot of time in those subjects. But it really does open the doors to universities in the UK and also across the world.
Anna,
yes.
a question to you. You indicated university. So any of the agents here, they want to know which are the university that usually your student from EF Academy will go. Do you have a list available that we can show to them?
Absolutely. We have a slide prepared for this later on throughout this presentation. I actually personally have had students that I recruited. I mean, like I said, I've been with the EF Academy for a while, that went to NYU. We actually, last year, we had a student accepted to Yale. This year, I think we even had one student accepted to Oxford University. So there's really top university names, but what's important to us is also to find the right fit for each student, right? And sometimes that might not even be an Ivy League university, but for a certain subject, there's a different university that's even more well known. So yeah, lots of potentials, but we'll show later on for sure.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you very much.
Of course. So how to apply? It's very straightforward. Like we said, it's all about us getting to know the student, right? Because we want to make sure they're the right fit. But when it comes to the hard facts, what we require is the academic transcripts from the last 2 years. And that includes the current year. If someone's applying for grade 11 or 12, we need all academic transcripts from grade 9 onwards. As just explained, this is important for the high school diploma. But in general, we just want to know how have the students performed over the past 2 years, also to see, again, where their strengths are and what to focus on. We would need a student's passport copy. And we also have some terms and conditions that need to be signed by the parents in order to make sure that we're all aligned on what our school rules and regulations are and what the conditions are. We also would love to also already have the student photo that we would then use for the student ID. These are kind of the documents that we require. And then the previously mentioned language test, which is called FSET. It's online. It's about 45 minutes long. It's also based on an interactive software. So depending on the answers, it gets more difficult, or it adjusts the questions. It's a very well thought through language test that gives us a great indication on the language level of each student. It has a listening part, a reading part, and a grammar / vocabulary part. And then we will follow up with an interview, an admissions interview that will also test the spoken English, and then further gives us insights into the motivation of the student, because that's also important.
Anna,
we do not, sorry.
Questions. Some high school charge some fee for the English test because they use a third party. Is there any fee involved here with the EF Academy?
No, we don't have any application fee at this point. We do have an enrollment / application fee that comes up once the students actually enroll with us. But up until that point, there's no, as it's all also handled by us, basically by EF. I think that's one of the benefits of belonging to the big EF group. And
I have a very interesting question. It came from China. And what is the balance between Chinese students and students coming from the rest of the world? Because sometimes, as we all know, agents are a little bit worried maybe if the school has full of Chinese, but I know personally it's not the case, but maybe you can speak, or you, Anna, or you, Sahara, tell me a little bit what is the balance between the Chinese and the rest of the world? This came a question from a Chinese agent.
Maybe I can answer this question.
Thank you.
So of course, in previous year, at the point, we may have more Chinese students, right? So, but then again, we are proud of, we don't have any majority from any countries in our school. So a few days ago, we actually checked the September intake in New York school to see, okay, how's the international mix? For Chinese nationality, it will be just 10%. And local American student, it's 10% already. So you can imagine it's really like a United Nations kind of environment. So you don't need to worry about, okay, Chinese student is the majority. And that's why try to set different deadline. And then we want to stop enrollment for some countries if we need it, because we still want to have a balance of this nationality. I hope I answered your question.
And adding to that, I mean, if we go back into when I show you when I introduce the campuses, if you think about in New York, just in New York, we have over 600 students and 91 plus nationalities. So there is a very well balanced mix. And as Joe mentioned, we also focus on the nationality cap. So we want to keep this balance because it's going to be part of the learning itself. So for us, that is very important.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a fantastic answer for both of you. Sorry, Anna, to interrupting you, but I always have to interrupt you, the speaker, when I get some interesting questions which we can bring on board.
Absolutely. No, it's perfect. I think it's super good that it is set up in such an interactive way. And this is also why I would love to refer to one question in the chat where there's a question about the requirements for students from India. We have the same requirements for students all over the world. There's no specific requirements for a certain region or a certain country. So I am looking after India with my team, and I can say that we have amazing Indian students joining us this year. I'm so excited. They come with, of course, we are looking at the grades, but like we said, our curriculum is relatively flexible when it comes to highlighting the strength. So it's an individual thing. We can't say you have to have a certain grade from a certain school. So we will look at this individually, and students can get accepted with our FSET English, like the EF language test. However, I mean, it might be that if a student wants to go to the UK, then they will require like an official UK English test, like the IELTS test. But also with regards to visa success, we actually don't have any problem with getting visas for our students. Also from India, we have a few students currently at school and also joining us this year that have already received their visa and are on campus.
Thank you very much, Anna. Please continue with the presentation because it's getting very interesting and we love to have this information from EF Academy, ladies and gentlemen. It's very interesting. We have 3 speakers from EF Academy with 3 campuses, 2 in the US and 1 in the UK. We are coming now to the second part of the presentation with EF Academy live on campus. Can I show a video of EF now?
Please do.
Okay. This is what we're waiting for. So
you take ownership of the screen, Richard.
Give me the screen back and then after,
I give you the screen back.
Thank you very much. So video presentation. Oops, there is some. Let me go to a second video. This one. Can you see the video?
Not yet, Richard.
Not yet.
Okay.
I think it might go to a different screen, so you might have to go to that screen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here with everyone. So let me go and see what is the issue here. 1 second. So here we go.
Yeah, in the meantime, yeah, it has been a great journey.
Thank you, Bajinder. So can you see the screen now?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
And to give a quick intro, this is a video on our students' life on campus. So it's really, it was done with our current students. I mean, the previous fall.
I remember my first day at EF Academy. I was wondering, is there going to be a lot of like cliques? Is there going to be a lot of mainly people from the same place hanging out?
I was expecting to make friends with people from my home country, but actually I'm making friends with people from all over the world.
Pretty much right off the bat, people from like Germany and Nigeria came up to me and were like, hey, you want to hang out? Immediately I found friends from like places that are so much different than where I'm from.
I was kind of nervous about making friends, coming alone to a place without any friends. After a month or 2, you will find your friend circle.
We have so many clubs. We have outdoor leadership club, we have Moto UN club, we have math club, chess club, and if you want, you can make your own clubs.
Being able to use music as a way to like cool down and like relax after the day is really nice, because otherwise I'd be going straight from school and then going straight into like studying after that would be just too much for me. So having something to do like music is really nice.
Being able to study with my friends at night is the best part of my day.
Definitely, it's a lot more fun, and I feel like I learn a lot more when I'm studying with someone else.
I really enjoy going to school with people from all around the world. We have so different perspectives on things, but at the same time you realize that we are really similar.
I find that really amazing about the school because there's like a community where you're accepted. I just love that.
You will just get friends from all over the world just by going to class together. Like right now, I feel like I have a bed to crash in all over the world.
It's fantastic. This is what we were talking before, like the importance for us to have such an international student body, because of course students learn during class, but they also learn outside class. So this is the best way to get exposed to the real world. So I'm gonna reshare my screen.
Yes, please.
And give the words to my colleague, Joe.
Thank
Joe,
you.
all yours.
Yes, thank you so much. I think the video itself is quite self-explanatory, right, about our students' life on campus. So we treat them really like our kids, yeah? So we want to make sure, apart from academically, they are doing well, we also want to take care of them in different aspects, okay? Next slide, please, or I can control it by myself. Okay, I can't control.
I do it.
Yeah. So of course, from the dorm, we have a lot of EF staff actually living there, and more of our staff are actually living together with the kids. So I think it's a great opportunity for them to know the student, not only about their academic side, looking at their score, but also by interacting with them, having lunch, brunch, dinner with them. So they really have the passion to get along with our student well. And of course, it's 24/7 secured environment, and we have curfew. Later on, I will show you the daily schedule of our students. So as Sahara mentioned, we are student-centric, right? So we have different roles from residential aspects to their personal aspect, to academic aspect, and also after school about their extra curriculum. So these staff, they know the student, right, as a whole person. So example, pathway manager, you can see they take care of our student personal life. If they have homesick, they'll contact us. So we know a lot of details from the pathway manager. And at the same time, the university advisors, of course, to many maybe Asian parents, even more, right? They expect their kids to be placed into top ranking university. So these are the contacts that we always talk to them on a regular basis, okay? Please, next slide. Yeah, of course, I need to emphasize the local admission team, which is us, right? So we work closely with the agents. So sometimes, of course, your parents will contact you directly, but then at the same time, we want to make sure you will have the firsthand experience so that you know how to deal with the parents. And sometimes if you want, we can talk to the parents directly, yeah? So clubs and activities, very direct from the video, right? From sports to art, drama, a business-related program, or sometimes our parents will help the kids to join some kind of races like hackathon, yeah, or some kind of local community service. I'm so proud to share one case. One of the Chinese student actually, he wanted to teach Mandarin to a small community for the kids. Throughout his study in our school, I think it's around 3-4 years, because of the passion. So our school director was convinced to arrange a van to send this group of Chinese students to that community. And Jeffrey is the person who's been teaching this small kids for 3 or 4 years, yeah? And in the end, because of this, as one of his clubs and activities experience, he got 4 years of full scholarship in the university that he is studying. So this is amazing opportunity. And of course, in different countries, China is an example because we have a lot of local schools, right? We always can get the students some kind of corporate experience. They can talk to me, they can talk to our different managers so that they can explore their potential and then help out to share the experience at the school, etc. Yeah, so a lot of activities. Next. Okay, this is the typical day. Yeah, so I don't know how, when do you start your day? But for our students, they start their day at 7:30. Yeah, first of all, they get the breakfast, and then they may discuss homework or self-study a little bit. And then, of course, they will start their program. Yeah, until 1:30, they'll have the lunch. I would say I'm also proud of the canteen, the varieties of the food that we offer to our students, because especially Asian students, they tend to complain, right, about the food. Oh, the quality of the food in the States is not as good as our home country. But since we have the nationality mix, we do have Korean food, Mexican food, Spanish food. We have a variety of choices to make sure they're healthy, they have enough to eat, and also they don't get bored about the food, yeah? And after the lunch, of course, they have to keep studying. And then after 4, they are free. They are free to do their own clubs and activities, sports, until 5:30. Yeah, they have their dinner quite early at 5:30. And then after 1 hour or 1 hour and a half, they will do their self-study or other activities again. Yeah, and then we expect the student to turn off the lights at about 10. Yeah, this is kind of the curfew time for the students, so that they have, our students, they really know how to manage their time. I think this is something that parents from our country, sometimes they are very surprised about how their kids, when they are away from their parents, they can totally manage their life by themselves. They can grow very fast, right? They can turn into another person. Their parents really feel, oh, is it the boy that I know before? So it's pretty amazing, right? By having this kind of structured, typical day, so that they can plan their day, they can plan their time, and this is what they need, right, in university, especially the top ranking one.
Yo, I have a
Okay.
question. I have
Sure.
a question to you and to Sahara. Maybe you can respond to my question. Many
Yep.
boarding school, they have like a portal where the parents can go inside and look
Ta-da!
what the students are doing. Fantastic. This is
Exactly.
important.
We know what you want to know, right? So this parent portal and app is designed for our parents so that they can stay in touch with the kids. Even in China, you know, a lot of platforms are not working, but our platform is actually working for our parents. So they can actually look into the class schedule of their kids, even the attendance rate, whether the kid is skipping some classes, or their result, right? We update the score on a regular basis in this parent portal. And of course, if there is any campus news or the weather, so the parents can easily access to this portal. And you know, every platform can be powered by Google. Actually, parents can get the translation in this app. Yeah, and of course, if they're not technology savvy, they can always reach out to us, and then we can teach them or explain to them about their worries. If they are worrying if their kids are attending to school on time, or yeah, if they have enough attendance. Yeah, isn't it a great portal?
It's fantastic. I mean, I'm impressed. I'm speechless. And I have to congratulate the EF Academy to bring this parent portal on board, because it's fundamental today. We are entering in after the Z generation now. And as we all know, parents are more and more demanding in Switzerland, my home country, in China, in every country around the world, in India, everywhere. Parents are becoming very, very demanding, and this parent portal is a very important, let's say,
exactly,
software which will help them to understand what they're doing. I have a question now. We speak now since about 15 minutes about the EF Academy, and it's fantastic. Everything is great, but we are business people. We want to know how much it costs, how much is the commission.
We're gonna get there, Richard. We're gonna get there. Almost there. One thing I would like to add to this, because I think the parent portal shows how also like innovative we are as a school, and how important, you know, we do understand it's so important for parents to keep track of what's happened to their own son or daughter in the opposite side of the planet, especially considering the fact that they are underage. But on top of it, one important figure in our schools, it's the pathway manager. So the pathway manager is a key figure that supports the students on a daily basis for academic, but also personal, and is also like the bridge between the students and the school, and you know, with the family, so and with the local office. So it's a very important, it becomes a sort of a sort of, a second parent or part of the family. Our students really, rely on them a lot. And for us, they are key people in the school. Of course, we also have the university guidance, which is a second figure, and Joe now is gonna give more insight about it. But I think the pathway manager, especially when we look into so young students coming to us at the age of 13, these are key figure within the academic experience. So that's something that I want to highlight.
So we only have another 7 slides. So all the questions you have asked will be coming soon, right? Regarding motivation and commissions. Okay, so this one of Sahara has already mentioned about that. So these are the key contexts that, including myself, I talk to them on a very regular basis. These are regarding to the students' well-being and also their academic level, right? So are they ready to apply for the university? So these are the key person for our students. Yep. Next slide. I think we can skip the video, or?
Yeah.
So this is something that you really want to know, right? Just now, Love, you asked, okay, how's your university placement? So you can see 1,027 acceptance we have got from last year. The highest IB score was 43. And then almost 4 A-star, 3 A-star plus A for A-level score. And then over 1/3 of our students actually placed into top 1 university worldwide. Yeah, and then here are just some example of the university placement into the US, UK, and what we want to highlight more is it doesn't really limit to the university in the US and in the UK. Some students would prefer studying in Canada, like this year, 2021. One of the Chinese student got the UT placement, University of Toronto, right? So we don't have any limitation. And we also have one Hong Kong student who got placement into Australian university, into the medicine subject, which is super demanding, yeah? So far, Oxford school, we have placement into Cambridge, Oxford for this September intake. Yeah, and this year in the States, in our New York campus, we have students going to NYU, Boston University, University of Southern California, University of California, etc. Right? And this is a great result to prove our teachers are really passionate about teaching. And some students, they didn't expect they could get the Ivy League or Oxbridge offer. But there are so many stories. I don't think I can spend time now with you to talk about all the stories, but so many students came back to us and thanked to the teachers and the university advisors how much they pushed them to their potential they have. They didn't think about that, but then with their encouragement, motivation, support, they could get into this top tier university. Yeah, so we can pass to next one, alumni. And of course, since we are from everywhere, our students are from everywhere, right? So we always try to connect this graduated student, whether they are now in university or even they are now working as managers, right? So we try to line them up and make them feel, okay, I have support. Yeah, so apart from this alumni, we also have ambassador program on campus. So these can also make our students have this leadership development opportunity and also coach all the junior or the beginner student so that they feel a strong sense of belongings to us and also get the appropriate support. And then in the picture, you can see we get together these alumni in New York, last year, January, before pandemic. So they were having fun. Yeah, next one.
Yeah.
So, Sahara, do you want to go through this? Or?
Yes, sure. And one more thing about university placement, because of course there are students, most of the students want to study abroad and get placed in university, US, UK, Europe, and so on and so forth. But there are also students, they want to go back home and they want to get placed in their home universities. I had cases of students from Brazil that they want to go back and study in the home country, and the university guidance actually helped them into that process too. So it's all about what the students want, what it's the best option, and about the skills, and what would be, you know, what's their plan also as a family. So it's I think this is an important aspect to highlight, because there's still that small percentage of students that want to go back home, and they still getting the support to make it. Just quickly about the tuition fee, you can see here, this is the cost of 1 year tuition fee for US, and then you have basically the breakdown per term, and then you have the 1 year, the cost of 1 year for Oxford. So for US is $62,250, for Oxford is £43,500. And then we have the preparation course, which is a separated story. So this is the cost of tuition fee, and you will get the 10% of the total. And of course, the students needs to enroll for the full year, for the 3 terms. So you will get the 10% out of the 62,250 or the 43,500. Let me show you a breakdown of tuition. So what actually does tuition fee include? They include the ERICA travel insurance coverage and ERICA sports supplement. So it's an insurance that covers them full from the time they're gonna get into campus until the time they graduate, like they end with us. This tuition includes a shared triple room in residence. As you have noticed, we offer only residence option. Includes also the board, full board. So it's a breakfast, lunch, and dinner from Monday to Friday, and then brunch and dinner on weekends. Also materials and book, and then students, clubs, and activities. This is what the tuition fee, the total you saw, includes. But there are other extra costs, which are few of them mandatory, others optionals. So the optional costs are the accommodation upgrade, and this is on the students' willingness. Like if they want to go into a twin, or they want to go to a single with the bathroom in the room or not, then it's going to have a different. There is going to be a different price. And this is going to be, it's offered the upgrade in New York and Pasadena, and also Oxford, with a different, let's say, variety. But then there are certain fees that are mandatory, which in case of grade 12 students, there will be the exam fee that will be included. And you see the difference depending on what type of exam they're going to take. And the same is applied in US. With the IB certificate or IB diploma, and in UK with the IB diploma and A level. And then there are the other fees, which are application fee and enrollment fee. We don't ask them, they will only pay it once they enroll with us. So we don't ask them to pay any enrollment or application fee when they start the application or they get through the process. But only once they get accepted and they are ready to enroll with us. And these are $700 in total for US and £500 for UK. And then as another mandatory fee, there will be the airport transfer, which varies depending on the campus. So you see in US, the total is $500, but this includes 6 transfers. In September, when they get into campus, Christmas time, back and forth, campus to airport, spring break, back and forth, campus to airport, or whatever they, depending on the age they plan to go, and then June to go back to the home country. Right, while in the UK, it's mainly the airport transfer in September. It's one airport transfer, so the price differs. And then there is the spring break trip fee, which is optional. I mean, they can choose to go, and it will be, $1,250 for US and £1,250 for UK. But this is So the extra mandatory fee are mainly the application enrollment fee, airport transfer, and then if they are in the grade 12, the exam fee, which are no part of the tuition, of the total tuition fee, basically. But these are mandatory fees that they need to cover.
Sarah, a question,
Yes.
short questions.
Yeah.
If someone has some relative in Pasadena or New York, can they stay at home by the relative, or they need to stay on the dorm?
So let's put it this way, and then I will welcome my colleagues to jump in for more. But the whole point of the boarding experience is that they live in the community.
Okay.
So having a student that goes back and forth will limit this full experience. Said that, we do have cases of day students. Let's take, for example, our US students. There are certain US students that they do are day students. So they come, they stay with us, and then they go back to their home if they are within the area. As for them, during the pandemic, this hasn't been the ideal options because of safety reasons. But generally speaking, they could be the option. But we always suggest to have, to look into it on a one-to-one basis. Hannah, Joe, would you like to add anything on that?
Yes, recently we have a request from an agent. The agent asked if they can arrange the host family for the student. So we don't accept host family, right? But if they have their own family living there, of course, if they have a better reason, we will let them to do it. But as Sahara said, the whole idea of having a boarding school is really to learn from the peer, to enjoy your student life. So this is very small amount of students that they actually request this.
Thank you very much. I mean, the presentation from EF Academy was excellent, and you really cover all the part. I mean, as a business person, and because I know very, very good the world of the boarding school and high school, especially in the United States and the UK, I would like to inform all the agents that the fee is very low compared many other US boarding school. The usual price from boarding school in the US is around 75 to 90,000 US dollar. In the UK, even 55,000 pounds. Over here in Switzerland, around 100,000 US dollar, to give you an idea. So it's very important because EF Academy has a long experience in this industry, and they welcome so many students, and they have so many knowledge, and with welcoming students. This is a very important fact, and the parents can be confident when they send the students to EF Academy. I mean, Sarah,
absolutely.
To make a conclusion of your presentation, what you want to add?
So, I mean, first of all, one thing that I don't need to go through this, but what I want to add is that we do, first of all, we do are expert in our job, but also we are expert when it comes to student learning, and as we showed, it's not just the academic part, which at the end of the day can be given and can be learned from everywhere. Math subjects are the same everywhere. But it's what is the plus, which is the international exposure that they have in completely safety, and this is super important because it shapes the mindset of these young future citizens, successful people. And then when it comes to the partnership, what we want to say is that when it comes to partnership, we give and we work on giving plenty support. So when you become a partner of EFA, it's not that just you refer students, you become part of the family. And as part of the family, we treat you as part of our team. And that's why we also created this last slide of how we will support you It's a mix of support. It's a mix of joint effort. It's a mix of working together towards make their students, their families' dream come true. And this is what we would like to achieve with today. This is the first step, the first exposure, and the first, the first way for us to let you know about us and to start a partnership. I don't know, Richard, any further questions on this, or Anna and Joe, would you like to add anything on this?
I want to add one more point. Because of our global presence, and also we have language schools, right? We have our Holt International Business School. We can give a lot of support to our students. And you can, of course, send students to high school and at the same time to our Holt Business School as well. And during, in the beginning of this year, because Chinese student cannot go directly to the US. And because of our global presence, we managed to send a group of students. They have visa at that time. These are the continuing students, but they cannot stand with the online program. They wanted to go back and agree with the parents. So we have a very experienced course leader escort the team to Cambodia, do the quarantine for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, they fly to New York and then have another 14 days of quarantine, which is required by the local government. So that's why we are like, education no matter what, right?
Correct.
So we offer this option for the parents. Of course, it's up to them whether they want to take this offer. I think no other boarding school, if they are only having their boarding school as their business, then they cannot offer this kind of support, right?
Correct.
So we are proud of that.
Correct. And then on top of it, I mean, I think one important point is that EF Academy owns all campuses, and we rely on everything in the house, like everything from us. Be part of also EF allows us to have a lot of support, and we don't rely on third parties for anything. Even the example of when Anna was mentioning about the EF set, which is our internal English test, we don't charge the students for that, which is something that actually happens in other schools. So this is also like an important point because it gives more confidence to families. And you want to make sure that your family are happy and satisfied, and they don't come to you complaining. And this is what we want. We want to make sure that you also feel that you can trust us as an institution, as experts. So what's going to happen next? Each one of us is responsible for different region. We will send you, you will receive a follow-up email with the presentation and some more content in the upcoming days, along with an invite to arrange at your convenient time and date a one-to-one call so that we can really go through every single questions or information you would like to have, and we can start our potential collaboration soon.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. I would like to add something as well that I think is very important for all of you. We have recorded this presentation, so we will send you a copy of the recorded presentation to you on YouTube, and we will upload this as well in Yoku. This will help you to show this presentation to your own staff, because I know that many of you have many staff, so not all the staff is here today with listen to the presentation. So you can share this video to them, and so they can know a little bit more about EF Academy. But it's not only this. As Sarah mentioned, EF Academy is part of a very big group. If you have an agreement with EF Academy, they will be able to assist you as well to cooperate with EF Language School, with HALT International Business School. Sahara has a long experience in working with HALT Business School. She was based in Hong Kong before, so she already attended some of my workshops physically in Hong Kong and in Europe before. So I think there is a great opportunity for all the agents to start to cooperate with EF Academy. It will open you many doors. And like you mentioned, it's not only about the boarding school, but when the students finish, as we know, they have the opportunity to go to very prestigious university like Yale, for example, but they can continue as well with HALT International Business School, which is a very, very, very good business school and well known around this industry. Ladies, I would like to thank you very much for this presentation. It was great. You managed to go through. I want to say thank you to Hannah, thank you to you, Sahara, that you trust WEBA to come on board today with the presentation. It was a great presentation, was very interesting. We learned a lot. And I would like to kindly ask you to give me the screen back.
Sure.
Very, very nice of you.
Absolutely. But this was definitely our pleasure. Me and my colleagues we were extremely excited to be here and to meet so many of you. As Richard mentioned, I've been working with agents, and also I know Richard for many, many years. And I think it's a key partnership, and that's why we are here today. So we hope it was a detailed, first information, like first introduction of EF Academy, that will likely follow up with a second, more intimate conversation where we can definitely have the chance to go and give and give you more details. But thank you so much. I leave you also, Hannah and Joy, if you want to say anything very quickly.
I also just wanted to say thank you, and I think there's so many amazing students out there that we can't wait to welcome and partner with you to find the right fit for our school, and the other way around as well. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to continuing answering all of the questions on an individual basis if we haven't been able to answer them in the chat yet. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Same here. Thank you so much, because we really look forward to work with you closely, and we can discuss a lot of different opportunities, and win-win is always our motto, right? We want you and ourselves grow together. Thank you so much for joining, and very interactive. We are very happy.
Richard, thank you so much for organizing this.
Thank you, Richard.
It's been fantastic.